I wanted to start this morning by filming the wild stuff over here. If you can see the bees flying around from flower to flower, this time of year these wild plants bring in so many bees. It's a good thing to keep them around because they're still pollinating all my pumpkin flowers. My pumpkins have flowers absolutely everywhere. It's insane how many flowers there are. If you look over there kind of close to the edge of the weeds, there's a pumpkin that's pioneered itself out to the edge of the weeds. I'll be interested to know if the vine will climb up those weeds up to the top or not. I suppose it will, because pumpkins climb when they get to something that's in their way out of the sunlight. So another thing I wanted to do, I don't really film myself very often doing this stuff, but just out of just a general way of telling how tall this thing is. My garden has overgrown me hugely. I am standing in the swale, by the way, but I judge the height of my garden by the swale depth anyway, because I do grow things down almost at the level of the bottom of the swale. So you can see what kind of jungle it is I've built here. Anyway, I'll show you something more interesting than myself. Here she is in all her glory. It's almost indistinguishable as a garden. It looks just like a green mess. I have not been weeding anything. I've been letting it go, and what I mean by letting it go is not neglecting it, but just letting it be the way it wants to be. And boy, oh boy, does it like to grow. Interesting, right here I found a place where I was actually going to get some corn, but the slugs came along and ate the corn silk off the top here. And the corn silk, I think, has some sort of acid in it, but maybe that's only when it's dry. But really surprising, I didn't have any slugs eat corn silk before, but you can see they pooed all over the leaves, so it's definitely slugs. Here in front, I don't remember this being a cherry tomato, but it turns out it's a cherry tomato, and this pumpkin plant just plowed it down into the ground, climbed on top of it, pushed it down, and this cherry tomato does not have any blight. I've already taken about 5 or 6 cherry tomatoes home and eaten them, and I've got some more red ones there today. I don't know if you can even see it past the sunlight that's hitting the pumpkin, but if I get too much closer it'll be blurry anyway. So I have tons and tons of cherry tomatoes buried by pumpkins, and this one doesn't have blight very much. It has a couple wilted leaves is all, but it's just amazing how that one does its own. I'll show you how overgrown this is if I can step over all of my pumpkin vines. Oh, I did want to show you this. I think I'm going to get one right there. Looks like she got pollinated and the slugs came in and chewed on the petals and left her alone, so hopefully this pumpkin will grow. I'm thinking about maybe a tripod for that one too. So my tripod idea is great. You can see how high the pumpkin vine is there. I've got, I think, 2 pumpkins growing off the top of that. Let's get inside here and look. It's a big white one, and there's a dark one there. The one that I had here that was cut or stolen, oh, I should say cut and stolen. It's still unsure if it was actually stolen, but that would have been a nice pumpkin by now. But I have 2 replacements, so I should not complain too much. Oh, there's a honeybee in my face. Anyway, there goes the honeybee. Lots of honeybees are up here. Let's look at the honeybees coming for the pumpkin flowers. So the honeybees are doing their job, and they really love pumpkin flowers, and I think they're beautiful. So of course the problem with pumpkins is they take up so much space. Most of my garden right now is pumpkin. There's another big white pumpkin on a tripod that I built. just hanging there. And where is the one I wanted to show you? Okay, it's over at the third tripod. I have to step over these. You can see the pumpkins down here in the wild weeds. It's growing all the way up into the jungle there. If I can get over here. Oh, there's another vine. So this pumpkin is starting to turn orange. I think I have another one down here. Let's look at her. Well, it's really hard to see through the leaves. There it is. It's a spotted one down at the bottom of the swale. There might be more pumpkins I've never seen because I really can't see very far in this stuff. Well, so here's a pumpkin there. There's a pumpkin down there. And what I wanted to show you was that, excuse me, another one starting to grow off the top of the tripod as well, so hopefully I'll have another hanging pumpkin. And got this pumpkin, and I'll show you, I think it's a squash rather than a pumpkin, but I'll show you. Oh my gosh, I just found another pumpkin. Here's a pumpkin I've never seen before. So yeah, I guess I'll find more pumpkins that I've never seen before because it's really impossible for me to see through this mess. Cool. Very excited. Maybe there's more in here. I just can't really move stuff around too much. I think this is a squash rather than a pumpkin here. Bright, bright color. And surprised because I bought what were called pumpkin seeds at the market that you're supposed to just crack open and eat the seed. And it's not in packages, it's in a bulk container. So I planted them, and I've got several varieties here. Although some of the dark green pumpkins that I'm growing I did plant on purpose because I ate one last year. It had really nice, a nice sweet fruit. Tasted really good, so I decided to plant those. And a few of them grew, and the rest were eaten by slugs, of course. Here's my crop of radishes. There's two broccoli growing up through there. But this is a huge pile of radishes. The slugs eat the leaves like crazy, but hopefully the radishes are growing underneath it. Really large plants. So hopefully I've got some good radish under there. Without rattling on too much, I'm going to go to the inside now and show you those pumpkins, and then just kind of finish this video because there's not much I can do other than wait for it to be harvest time for everything. One thing I should say is if you remember earlier this spring, I had potatoes growing all the way around the outside, and I harvested some last video, I think. Maybe it was 2 videos ago. And there's no way that I can find where they are now to harvest any more without damaging or disturbing my pumpkin vines, so I have to leave it at that. Really, really amazing. Let's look at some cucumbers. These are little baby ones. I harvested 2 very large ones off this vine last weekend because apparently they're not so good once they get huge. So they were about 6 inches long, but I've got a lot more. And it was a good idea stuffing these sticks in here last time because the vines knew exactly what they wanted to do. They attached to those sticks right away and just started growing. I kind of trained that pumpkin up that tree, and it decided it liked that idea. So I really hope that pumpkin that's it looks like it's been fertilized right there. I hope that one grows. And this pumpkin here, I hope this one grows too. But look at this. This might be the time I can save it. Oh, well, There's a slug that I removed in the nick of time, right on that pumpkin fruit down there. He was probably just going to crawl past the fruit to get to the flower anyway. They really love pumpkin flowers. Got some little corn there. And some more corn in there. That's actually producing. Inside, there's a morning glory. I can't get rid of the morning glory. They add something to the garden though. You can see the vines have climbed up where the sun hits all the way to the top of my pole here. And that's morning glory there. Morning glory all the way to the top. So I figured it would. That's why I put them there, just to keep it from crawling all over my plants. This is the blighty tomato plant. Look, it's growing a tomato. Really surprised. I think the blight's going to get it because it's about 4 inches away, but anybody for blighty tomatoes? My 2 biggest pumpkins here. I can save my pumpkin again. Slugs climb all over these pumpkins, but they can't really do much to them. They just kind of crawl over them and they do nothing. There's no reason for me to throw them away. There's so many slugs all over the place. Look at his buddy there. So it's a big pumpkin now. Big pumpkin. And here's the twin. Not exactly twin, different type of pumpkin. This is one of the green ones I planted. I think this one might turn yellow. Or sorry, orange. And this one will stay this nice green color. And it's a nice pumpkin. But I could be backwards on that. Now, another pumpkin that I thought was a pumpkin that turned out not to be a pumpkin. This is a large, very large squash, I think. And look at the size of this one. Big yellow squash. And it had a little one here that was growing, and it started to die and warp, and I just broke it off today because I didn't want that here. So didn't want it to attract anything. Threw it out in the woods, let the pigs eat it. So some of these beans, you got to see some of these beans. There's big bean pods. Big bean pods here. So I've got a small bean crop there. Let's go over to what happened in the wind here. The wind blew down a few of my Jerusalem artichokes. The rest of them are bending towards the sunlight, which probably helped them to blow down. Another cucumber there. See all the little flowers? I'll get cucumbers from all that. There's some bigger ones up high. Doing just fine. Good thing I stuck those sticks in because they didn't start doing that till I put the sticks by them and they grew up the sticks. They finally had some place to grow. This cucumber as well. Doing quite well. I planted 3 here and 1 zucchini, and 2 cucumbers and the zucchini got chowed down real fast, and this one surprised me. These 2 fell over. These Jerusalem artichokes fell over right onto my stick, and then they continued to grow. This was probably when I was in London, so I decided to leave them because there was no sense changing them, because I see that the cucumber seems to not mind them and it'll probably grow on them, so I'm leaving that. This pumpkin has grown up and into the Jerusalem artichokes in several different places, along with my beans. Got beans growing up here, just kind of hanging out. I guess I'll let them dry on the vine and take them home. And today I should do a mustard harvest because it's nice and yellow. Take it home and beat it out in a big pan and save the seeds. Alright, one other thing I did today was I cleared out this path because of my tree that fell down. I thought it'd be better if I cleared out the path just to walk through here without getting stinging nettles all over my legs. Because I do plan on having more friends down here. And it's just nicer to come through if you don't have to wade through weeds. And there's a nice kind of path to go through. So I took armloads and armloads of weeds here that I cleared out down to the garden, and I threw them all in the swale because I figure that this winter, when the wild boar come through, they're going to root up a lot of the sides of my walls again. They'll also root up a lot down in the bottom of the swale and mix that all up. It'll make good compost just naturally through the winter, just from the wild boar doing their natural thing. So I figured I'd give them something to dig up, plus the worms will start working on it now. There's some dirt in there from the roots of the stinging nettle and those other strange plants, these ones with the flowers. So there is some dirt, but not a whole lot. The point being, it's going to rot, and the wild boar are going to come here whether I like it or not, and they're going to root up the whole garden, on the outside especially, during the whole winter. The deer will come through and chew on all the grass that grows, and I'm just giving it more feed.